Run a little late, guys. I apologize, but I had 2 videos I had to put out today, and then, of course, my laptop decides to have issues. I swear it has a mind of its own. You never know when it's going to be in a good mood or not. Apparently today, it was not. But I definitely wanted to do today's live show because I have a big announcement. So hopefully, number one, YouTube does its thing and tells everybody I'm live, because nobody here unless they see the live show, you know. But I'm super excited. Me and Joey were talking about this last night, so I want to share with everybody. I want to wait till a few more get in here real quick. I'm excited about it, guys. Golden Blue Dude is growing at a very, very fast rate, guys. We're over 6,000 subscribers. Last count, I saw 6,217. We're getting into a decent sized channel, guys. We're getting there. And the goal of 10,000 subscribers by the end of the year, looking awesome. Let's do it. Still need your guys' help, though, because I can't be everywhere. So, you know, you see a friend that maybe you don't think knows about Golden Blue Dude, or a family member, just one person. That's all it takes, one person, and we spread it from there. Now, what you can do right here, right now, is hit the like button. Please, that's all you got to do. Just hit the like button. What that does, it makes this video hit the YouTube algorithm, and when this video starts hitting the YouTube algorithm, it gets suggested more people see it, and more people come. That's how we grow the show. I know many of y'all have been here when that's actually happened. I've suggested it, y'all have done it, and boom, the show gets bigger. So, quick second, hit the like button. Fast, easy, simple, and free. Let's do this. Who do we have in the chat? We have Gamecock Chuck, and I will put this on the record right now. As of right now, May 4th, 2022, Gamecock Chuck is my most loyal South Carolina subscriber. So, congratulations, Chuck. You do own that title right now. Goose Sports is in the house. I'm going to try to pronounce this name right. If I say it wrong, I apologize. Kim Gamondo. It's either Gamondo or Jamondo. One of those. I'm sure I probably butchered it, and I apologize. Neo's in the house. John Kelly, loyal supporter in the house. Appreciate you, bud. Sthire. How do you pronounce that? Is that Steer? Steer? Something. I'm missing something. And it's probably obvious. But Steer24, you're in the house. Appreciate you. Michael Owen, I see you, bud. Yvette Stowers, the better half of Joey. Yvette Stowers Foster. I didn't finish your name. Sorry. The better half of Joey Foster in the house. The real MVP 24. Me and him have had some good conversations. He's in the house. I see you, Vic2 Productions. I did not miss that. I see you in the chat. Let me scroll up and see if I missed anybody else. Bear with me because this laptop is a piece of crap. I'm going to say it and put it on record right there. Christian in the house. I know Joey's in, filling in as Golden Blue Dude in the chat. So if you see Golden Blue Dude, that's not me. That's Joey. But hey, Golden Blue Dude is a brand. So if you represent, why did the camera go off? Why did the camera go off? Hold on, guys. Hold on. I got this. Hold on. I'm telling you. See, I tried to tell y'all that this stupid laptop. There we go. We're back on. Why did that happen, though? That was so stupid. Stupid. Welcome to my day, guys. Welcome to my day. Anyways, let's keep going, guys. Brandon Nodine or Nodine. It's got to be one of those. Let's make sure we're all caught up, and then we will start talking about what we really want to start talking about. Maybe that is everybody. Let's go to the end of the chat and see if anybody new's popped in. Dadgum, you guys are commenting like crazy today, which is good. That also hits the YouTube algorithm. David Cummings, I see you, man. Very active. Michael Walker, member, Patreon, very loyal supporter. See, guys, y'all have hit the like button. Look, we're up to 35. So you new guys, we need you to hit the like button so this thing gets suggested even more. That's how this video is building right before our very eyes. Hitting that like button. Easy. All right, so the big news, right? Yeah, me and Joey have been talking about this last night. So what we want to do, we don't have a date for it yet, but it's going to be in the summertime whenever my kids are out of school. That way I can take a good chunk of a weekday. Colby, I see you. Jay Glizzy, 1999, I see you too. Scotty B, the Baylor King, I see you as well. But what we're going to do is we're going to take a day during the week, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. Friday might be the best option, to be honest with you, but we'll figure it out. Colby, long time no see. So what we're going to do is we're going to take one of those days and we're going to do an 8-hour stream, but not just any 8-hour stream. 6 of those hours are going to be chucked full of guests. I mean, we're talking about probably 2 or 3 guests per hour. We'll give them 15, 20 minutes, and then, we'll talk just us, and then we'll bring on the next guest. Probably a total of around 8, maybe 10 guests. And we already have some names in mind, and we already know they're going to come on. We just have to give them a date and time and all that stuff. And they're going to be big guests too. So not just West Virginia guests, which West Virginia personalities will be some of the guests, but we'll have some from other fan bases, like maybe an Ohio State or maybe somebody that covers all of college football, a bigger name. So we're going to do that in the summer. I'm thinking like late June, early July, somewhere around that area. And I don't know, I'm feeling either a Thursday or a Friday would be the best. So 8 hours, probably going to start around, I'm going to say noon or 1. That way we don't go too late. We can start around noon or 1 and end around 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock at night, something like that. So I'm excited I'm excited about that. And it's got me pumped up. I'm even tripping over my words. That's how pumped up I am. Justin Nelson, I see you. I mean, it's just, this channel has blown my mind. You guys have blown my mind. I did not expect to be at over 6,000 subscribers before year 3. That is insane. And I do have to give a big shout out to Joey Foster, man. I brought him on the team, and that was one of my best decisions that I made for this channel. I appreciate him. He's done a lot. Y'all need to say thank you to him as well, because he's working his tail off behind the scenes. Normal Guy, I see you. GL Pat, I see you. Hummus Hero in the house. What's up, bud? Don't forget, there is that $ down on your bottom right hand screen. That is the super chat button. So if you want to support the channel financially, just hit that. You can do as low as a $2 and up from there, and it guarantees that I will read your comment. And whenever that 8-hour stream goes down, super chat comments guaranteed to be talked about. So whenever we have a big guest, you guys can ask them a question directly through super chat. So it's going to be an amazing live show. I'm excited about it. Samuel Lynn, all the way from New Jersey. Appreciate you, bud. See, Go to Bluetooth is nationwide, and I was actually looking at the analytics, and we're actually worldwide. I've got viewers from Sweden, Ireland, Japan, Russia. I mean, it's really blowing my mind. I actually did a live show or a live podcast with a group called the West Virginia Webcast, and they have networks, or they're seen by 44 different countries. 44 different countries. That's amazing. So all you West Virginia fans that are in the chat, make sure to check out the West Virginia Webcast. It's a great show, and I was a guest, and we had a great time. You know what was funny? I'm going to kind of give you a behind the, I guess this could be labeled as a behind the scenes type of thing. So whenever I went on that show, they called me before we actually did the show, and they said, hey, we want to get your sound ready. We want to make sure your levels are right. Make sure there's no echo, all that stuff. So they called me before we actually did the show, and then we did the show. Okay. After the show, I decided to talk to them for a little bit, kind of get to know them a little bit. And here's what they told me. They said, man, you actually change into a different person when you put those sunglasses on. And I was like, you know what? I didn't even realize that. But whenever I really sit down, to think about it, I don't turn into a different person. It's my enthusiasm about college football just runs through my veins. So if you met me in real life, I'm not as, outgoing as it may seem on the channel. I mean, I still talk to me on stuff like that, but I'm not like this. Man, but if you start getting me to talk about college football, I turn into that. So let's say me and you are having a conversation, right? And we're not talking about college football. It'll go something like this, and hey, what's up, man? Not much. What are you up to? I don't know. Just same old, same old. Well, we get into the college football mode, and I'm like, man, did you see what West Virginia? It's a whole different level. I can't even explain it. So, but it's funny when somebody else points it out, because to me, I don't realize what's going on. I don't realize that happens. So it's whenever somebody else points it out, you sit down and think about it. Yeah, I guess you're right. Yeah, that's absolutely true. And then you start thinking about it, and then you realize that it happens every friggin' time. The reason I started this channel is because college football is a sickness and a disease for me, and my family and my friends honestly got sick of me talking about college football all the time. They said, man, you need an outlet, and you need it now. You need to check out this guy, Uncle Lou. Yeah, first college football YouTube video, Uncle Lou. I checked them out, and they're like, this is what you need to do. And that's when I started. And it was my brother that gave me that final push. I mean, I had been wanting to do this forever because I love college football, but I didn't have that faith or the guts to actually do it. And my brother finally gave me that push, and off we went. If you go back and look at my earlier videos, that's more of how I normally act, except not that nervous. But I'm a little more calm, a little more even keel. So, if you go back and look at my earlier videos, you can see how calm of a person I really am until I get used to being in front of the camera and I start talking college football. That's when it's, I'm ready to go then. Eddie Rose, I see you, bud. Jeff Webster in the house. He likes to call me Navy and Yellow Man, or is it Yellow and Navy? I think it's Yellow and Navy Guy is what he likes to call me. Yellow and Navy Guy. It's either Yellow and Navy Guy or Navy and Yellow Guy. I think it's Yellow. Yeah, it's Yellow and Navy Guy. That's what he likes to call me. It's all good. So I was looking at the headlines today about Jordan Addison. Number one, that makes me smile because the Backyard Brawl is looking more like a West Virginia win every single day. When I made that bet with Talkus Pitt, by the way, y'all need to give thoughts and prayers to Talkus Pitt. He's recovering. I don't know the details, but he had to go to the hospital. I think he had surgery, actually. So thoughts and prayers out to him. But I made a bet with him. When was it? I think it was during the football season last year. And if it was whenever we found out that Pitt was playing West Virginia. That's whenever it was. So the bet is, and it's still standing, the bet is if Pitt were to beat West Virginia, I have to wear a Pitt jersey for one of my episodes, a regular video that I put out to the public. So it would be out forever. But if West Virginia beats Pitt, then he has to sing Country Roads on camera, and I actually get to put a video out of him singing. Now, when I made that bet, of course, I'm a West Virginia fan. I got to keep the faith. But I found out that Pitt was returning basically everybody. So I'm like, man, that's going to be tough. But, man, I have faith. West Virginia's going to do it. And then West Virginia brought in Graham Harrell. And then Graham Harrell brought in JT Daniels. And I'm like, yeah, West Virginia's got this because our biggest issues last year were offense. We'll be fine on defense. Losing Mesidor did hurt, but we went out and got Lockhart from Georgia Tech. So that's going to help a lot. But not worried about defense, bottom line. And so the offense was getting put together with Graham Harrell, JT Daniels, excited. Confidence went much higher, like very confident that West Virginia is going to win, like certain. Now that Jordan Addison has entered the transfer portal, not only am I certain that West Virginia is going to beat Pitt, I think West Virginia could beat them by double digits. I'm talking 10 to 14 points, maybe 17 points as an outside shot, depending on how many points we can score. Don't get me wrong, Pitt still has a good defense, but I only think it's marginally better than West Virginia's defense. And our offense is going to be much, much better than Pitt's. And from what I heard from Pitt fans, they were not liking what they saw from Keaton Slovis in the spring practice and especially in the spring game. He looked nervous. He does not know the offense right now. He's running out of time. So, and as far as Slovis has already proven himself better than JT Daniels, wrong answer. Way wrong answer. Go look at the stats. JT has way better stats, way better percentage, more touchdowns, and Keaton Slovis struggled. Now, JT Daniels has had some bad games here and there, but he's been way more consistent, way better than Keaton Slovis. So that's flat out wrong. Sorry about that. Talkus Pitt says, you're not beating us by double digits. Yes, we are. West Virginia is going to beat Pitt by double digits. It's going to happen. All right? I'm letting you know right now. And I get along with you, Talkus Pitt. That's why I'm doing you a favor, man. You need to, make sure that your vocals are nice and loose. I don't want you to hurt your voice. So make sure you start warming those vocal cords up, man. And I also don't want you to make a fool of yourself. So on top of warming your vocal cords up, make sure that you know the words to Country Roads. All right. I don't want you stumbling over your words, trying to think. Make sure you have it in your mind. See, if I lose the bet, all I have to do is wear a jersey. That's it. There's nothing I have to say, or I don't have to memorize. You do, my friend. So you might want to work on that, okay? And I'm not saying you have to be the best singer ever. Just, we want to get a rendition where we can tell that it's Country Road. So get them vocal cords warmed up and make sure that you know the words to Country Roads. So there you go. By the way, Talkus Pitt, earlier, if you missed it, I did send out thoughts and prayers to you, man. I don't know the details of what you went through, but I know you had to go to the hospital, and I'm pretty sure you had surgery. So I really do hope that you feel better, man. We've all been thinking about you. Pinhead Larry, I see you, bud. So Talkus Pitt, maybe you weren't in the live show earlier when I made the announcement, so I'm going to say it real quick again. Big thing for Golden Blue Dude for this summer, probably late June, early July, 8-hour stream, and we're going to have like 8 to 10 guests. We're talking big guests. And so the format's going to be, our guest is going to get 15 to 20 minutes, and then we'll have 5 to 10 minutes where I just talk to my audience. So we're going to average probably 2 or 3 guests per hour. And then that's going to be for the first 6 hours. And then the last 2 hours, it'll just be me and the audience. And of course, if you want to ask the guest a question or get their thoughts on something, you can do that through Super Chat, and it guarantees that your question or whatever you want to say is read out to the rest of the public. So I'm excited about it, guys. This is awesome. Everything is going way faster and way bigger than I ever thought it would. So, and it's not because of me. That's what I've tried to explain to people. I can make videos all day, but if nobody watches it, then nothing happens. So it's because of you guys. And I know y'all have told people, and they've subbed, they've told people, and they've subbed, and boom, we're over 6,000. And by the end of the year, we will be over 10,000. I have no doubt about it. By the way, I found out not to doubt Joey Foster. He's given me some predictions that I was like, it's a little high, man. I don't know about that. I don't know if that goal is doable. We've hit it every time, guys. Every ridiculous sounding goal that he's put out, we've hit it. So I'm pretty happy about that. Yeah. Let me take a break, guys. Hold on. I need my Pepsi. Voice is kind of raspy right now. I can't help it. I get excited about this stuff. I'm super pumped up. Yeah, I think Crowder will earn the backup. He looked way better than the other two. Well, now they're an 8.5-point favorite. That absolutely doesn't make sense because when the line opened, they were only a 7-point favorite, and now Addison is in the portal. Pitt had a poor spring game. West Virginia had a much better spring game than Pitt, and that's not on Vegas, guys. That's on the people that bet money. So people, they're doubting West Virginia. That's fine. It's your money to lose. That's on you. Can't talk sense into everybody. P Digits, I see you in the house. Every time I see a name that I didn't see earlier, I try to shout y'all out because I try to shout everybody in the chat. So if I haven't, Michael Owen, I see if I haven't shouted your name out, make sure to leave a comment in the chat, and I'll try to keep up with it, and I will shout your name out. Lacey Denton, see you. Sky Rush, yes. Mine Racer, no. Interesting name, but I have to shout him out. He says, "Talk is Pitt. We may be rivals, but health is more important. Prayers for a speedy recovery." That's what I was talking about earlier. Me and Talk is Pitt, we actually get along. Yes, we trash talk, but football is not the most important thing in the world. Football is what this channel is about. It's what I do. It's my job. But a person's health, a person's existence is way more important than football. We see that all the time whenever we're watching a game and we see a guy get hit and they get knocked out. And all of a sudden we realize, oh man, yes, it's awesome to watch a game, but this guy could be permanently injured. So, yeah. So Talkus Pitt says having COPD at 33 sucks. Did you already have COPD and it caused an issue or like a complication? Is that what happened? Because I'm not even sure what happened. All I know is some people told me that Talkus Pitt had to go to the hospital or something. For everybody that's new to the live show and you haven't hit the like button, please do so. It helps the video tremendously. It helps the video hit that YouTube algorithm. Video gets suggested to more people and more people come in. You can ask the people that have already hit the like button and the video has been building. It works. The Big Bear says call in. No, usually on Wednesdays we don't do call in. We will do a call in on the Friday show. I try to reserve the call in for one show a week, and it's going to be the weekend show because it seems like more people are geared up, and it's easy to stay on that schedule because whenever the season rolls around, the emotions are much more higher whenever the weekend comes because that's when the games are played. So you get the better more emotional call-ins if you do it on the weekend during the season. So we try to keep that going. That was a long answer, wasn't it? The short answer is no. Tonight is not a call-in, but Friday will be. LSU Hyper Ninja 9. He says, "Go Tigers." I see you, man. Actually, one of my LSU subscribers made it into the "We Are Golden Blue Dude" video, which I was meaning to ask you guys. We did that, but some people's video didn't make the actual compilation that I made of everybody saying it because some video quality wasn't able to be used or the format didn't fit. So if y'all want me to do another one and y'all want to try again to send a video so you can be in the video, I have no problem with that. None whatsoever. And we have way more subscribers than we did whenever I did the first We Are Golden Blued. And what that was I made a video about basically all my subscribers, and all you had to do was send a short video of you saying either "I am Golden Blued" or "We are Golden Blued" to me, and I literally put it into the video. So I literally have a video that's about my subscribers. So if y'all want me to do it again, I will, because some of y'all, I wasn't able to get the video in because it either the format wasn't right or the video wasn't able to be used. And I'm wanting to get as many people in there as possible. I think the first one went well, though. I mean, really good. But the more people that I can get into the video, the better it'll be. Hopefully, we get to the point where like the video has like a thousand faces in it. That would be awesome. I do agree with Lacey Denton. NIL going to ruin college football. Too late to save the sport. Yes, I agree with that. The only thing that we can do is stop the bleeding. NIL is here. You can't undo it. But what we can do is we can put rules in place to where we can even it out as much as possible. Because right now it's basically whoever has the most money gets the best players. And if you want to keep the player, you have to outbid the team that's trying to get the player. That's what happened with us, with Mesidor. He went to Miami. We couldn't match the offer. That's what's happening to Pitt. Jordan Addison is being offered this crazy amount of money. I did hear that Pitt matched it, but I don't think ultimately that they'll be able to match the money of a USC or a Texas or an Alabama. And those are Jordan Addison's top three. And that's not a coincidence. I actually made a video on that earlier because Texas has the number 8 transfer class for 2022. Alabama has the number 5. And, of course, USC has the number 1. So the rich keep getting richer, and that's the story of college football right now. And I don't know what the answer is, guys, and it's sad. I think what's going to happen is you're going to have the top 40, 50 brands break off, create their own conference, league, whatever you want to call it, create their own playoffs, create their own national championship. That's what I think is going to happen. It's not me. Ingrid Hart in the chat. I try to read it word for word and punctuation for punctuation, but without the punctuation, it's me, Ingrid. I haven't seen that name, so welcome aboard. If you haven't hit the subscribe button, do so. We are over 6,000 now. Michael, holy crap, this is gonna be tough to pronounce, guys, but I'm gonna try. Michael Chiricella. Maybe it wasn't that difficult. It just looked like it. Michael Chiricella. He says, get well quickly and completely, Talkie Spit. Yes, we are all behind you, Talkie Spit, 100%. NyQuil in the house says, college football about to be the USFL. I'm going to hate it. Yes, if that's exactly what happens, which is what we think is going to happen. Not good, guys. Not good. Not good at all. That's why I made that second video, too, because the Jordan Addison thing just... Well, for me, it wasn't Jordan Addison that opened my eyes. It was what happened with Hakeem Mesidor. So it shows the scope of it. It's insane, and it's not going to stop anytime soon. BYU, SU, I see you in the house. What's going on, bud? I don't know, man. I don't know. I just get down sometimes because it looks like that you can't stop it either. Mountaineer News, too. I see you, bud. But the other video that I did today... Hold on. Give me a sec, guys. What did I do with it? Well, anyways, I think I can remember it. The other video I did today was the approval rating for the SEC East coaches, and I was actually a little bit surprised at who had the worst approval rating in the SEC East. Of course, Kirby Smart had the best approval rating. Why would he not? He just won a national championship for Georgia, and they haven't won one in like over 40 years, or was right at 40 years. So he was number 1. Number 2, right behind him, was actually Mark Stoops. Hey, Mark Stoops has Kentucky headed in the right direction. And last year, Kentucky went 5-6. And for the preseason, I actually predicted Kentucky to finish second in the SEC East. Most people had Florida finishing second in the SEC East. But I saw what he did in the offseason, and I saw that recruiting class, and that defense was going to be really, really good. And that's exactly what happened. So he's number 2. His approval rating through the roof. Kentucky fans, as far as football goes, not used to having 10-win seasons. And Mark Stoops has had 2 10-win seasons since 2016. That's pretty stinking good. Number 3 was Shane Beamer. He's only been at South Carolina for 1 year, and they went, Larry Martin, I see you, by the way, and they went 7-6. Now, that's not a good season, but compared to what Will Muschamp was doing at South Carolina fans were happy. Got him to a bowl in his first year, turning things around. I live about an hour and a half away from Columbia, South Carolina, and I tell you what, Gamecock fans are very excited about Shane Beamer. And I think South Carolina does what Kentucky did last year. In fact, they had the same, well, not the same record, but close to the same record as what Kentucky had in 2020, except Kentucky was 1 under 500 and South Carolina was 1 over. look out for South Carolina. I think they have the potential of having a 10-win season this year. A lot of their tough games are at home. It does help that I know it's on the road, the Clemson game, but that's out of conference. So that's not going to hurt their SEC standings. And I do think that they lose that game on the road to Clemson. But they do get Georgia at home and they get Texas A&M at home. I think at minimum they split that. I think South Carolina is more than capable of beating both Georgia and Texas A&M at home. Jimbo Fisher, not a very good coach at all. Yes, he beat Alabama at home last year, but he went on to go 8-4. I think Shane Beamer's a better coach than Jimbo Fisher. Jimbo Fisher is a better recruiter, but Shane Beamer is going to have better players than what he did last year. Look out for the Gamecocks, guys. I'm telling you. I'm looking at 8-4. If maybe some injuries happen and they lose some games that they shouldn't, 9-3 is looking like a solid possibility, but 10-2 is possible for the Gamecocks, and that's why Shane Beamer is number 3. Number 4 is going to be Billy Napier. Hasn't coached a single down at Florida, and he comes in at number 4. So Florida fans are a little iffy on Billy Napier. Billy Napier, over 75% winning percentage in Louisiana. But I know there's a big difference between a group of 5 and a power 5. But at least he's proven he can have success, even if it is in the group of 5. Voxium Gaming OG, I see you, man, in the chat. Larry Martin, I see you if I didn't mention you earlier. Mayhem Matthew looks like he disagrees with me a lot. He says 6-6 GBD. LOL, Gamecocks won't win more than 7 games, and I'll bet on that, sir. Let's go. I'll do 25 right now. Do the handshake sign in the emoji. Everybody sees it. It's a bet, $25. Let's go. I'm not worried about that at all. In fact, I'll go 50. Let's go 50. If they hit 7, are you saying you would bet that they hit 7 and that's the highest? So what do the Gamecocks have to hit for me to win? I guess I'm trying to figure out. Do they have to win 7 games or do they have to win 8 games? I need to know that. That way, at least we have the rules established. But yeah, we are laying a bet live here on the live show. Who replaces Saban when he retires? That is a good question. A lot of people think it could be Kirby Smart. I don't think so. I think Kirby Smart has it made in Georgia. He owns Athens right now. He's got a national championship. He is the hero of the state of Georgia. He makes more money than he could ever spend, so money's not really an option. I think it's Dabo. I really do. I think Dabo would make a lot more money in Alabama. Dabo played for Alabama when they won the national championship in 1992, so he has direct ties to Alabama. So the obvious answer in my head is Dabo Swinney. And to me, it's not even, I don't even have a close second. It would have to be Dabo Swinney. Clemson better roll out the Brinks truck because it would take a crap ton of money to keep him, because even though he's made Clemson his home, his true home is Alabama. So, yeah. Lacey says, easy bet going to Blue Dude. I know it is for me because I think South Carolina is capable of winning 9 to 10 games. Mayhem Matthew, man, I didn't see you lay the stipulations for the bet as far as how many games. Hold on. Did anybody see what he said? Because I didn't see it. Hold on. No, he hasn't laid down the stipulations. I just want to know, for me to win. Okay, Mayhem Matthew says they have to win 8 games in the regular season for you to win. So you're taking 7 or less. It looked like you were confident in 6-6. So you're giving yourself what you were saying, at most 7. You know what? I'll take that bet. $50. South Carolina wins 8 games. I'm going to look at their schedule real quick. Give me 1 second, guys. What stupid things happen to me? All right, here we go. So let's run through this real quick. All right. Okay, since you laid the stipulation, I'm going to come back at you, all right? So, since you laid the stipulation that they have to win 8 games for me to win, I'm going to count the bowl. That's part of the stipulation, all right? So, if they have to win 8, you have to count the bowl. So, they went 7-6 last year with the bowl win. This is South Carolina's. Let me make sure, guys. Yeah, this is South Carolina's schedule for this year. They get Georgia State at home. That is definitely a win. I'm not even sweating it. On the road to Arkansas, that's going to be a loss. Arkansas's defense is going to be really, really good. I know they lose a lot, but usually they just refill, and their offense can be a lot better. So we're looking at 1-1. Then they get Georgia at home. I think that's a win. Okay, a win. Here's why: Georgia only returns 3 starters from that defense. Okay. 2019, I predicted South Carolina to beat Georgia in Athens because I knew that Georgia was making a lot of mistakes that year. I think that happens this year. And I haven't seen one game from Georgia this year because the season hasn't happened. But South Carolina is returning a lot, and they were top 10 in the transfer portal. I think number 7. They bring in Spencer Rattler, also the tight end, and 2 other 4 stars. So an influx of talent, and Georgia loses pretty much their entire defense. What won the national championship last year for Georgia? Anybody? It was defense. Nobody could score over 20 points. In fact, only one team did it, and that was Alabama. And I get a lot of egg on me for this one, but I still believe. I see you. Hold on, Zachary Whitefield, Trojan fan. Yes. See, coast to coast, Golden Blue to coast to coast. USC subscribers. That's awesome. Anyway, sorry, I got sidetracked a little bit. So yeah, I think South Carolina beats Georgia this year. I think the defense takes a massive step backwards for Georgia. It is a home game for South Carolina. They're going to be going out their mind, and they're going to be mad because they're coming off a road loss to Arkansas. I think Georgia, and this is a rivalry game. South Carolina tends to play Georgia close, except for last year. Nobody played Georgia close. So this is an easy pick for me. Mayhem Matthew says, so UG offense didn't average 39 points per game. Yeah, it did. What are you talking about? Because it didn't have any pressure, dude. Whenever an offense knows it doesn't have to score more than, 25 points to win a game, it makes them relax. It makes them get into their groove easier because they know the pressure is not on them. Okay? This year, it's going to be the total opposite. They will have to score, 30, 35 to win some football games, where last year, there was only one game where the opponent only went over, what was it, 21 points one time, and that was the SEC championship. Even the national championship, I correctly predicted Alabama to not reach 20 points. Georgia is not going to have that defense, and I think Georgia has a shot of going maybe 9-3. If the wheels really fall off, 8-4. I don't think that's going to happen, but I think 9-3 is a definite possibility for the Georgia Bulldogs this year. Look, just because you won a national championship doesn't mean you're Alabama. It means everything came together in a spectacular year, and it seemed like everybody was seeing it too, because you returned a lot of studs on defense, and that's what won you the national championship. Yes, I understand that you were averaging 39 points per game, but you only allowed 10 points per game. So, yes, your defense won that national championship for you. And that offense didn't have to worry about anything. So they can get in their groove and do their thing. And Georgia, what division do they play in? Yeah, they still play in the SEC East. So scoring a ton of points, not really that big of an issue in the SEC East. Now, when they played a good Arkansas team, that defense shut them out. I think it was like 36-0 or something like that. Not expecting that. That's how spectacular that defense was. And that's why, even though people are going to ridicule me for this opinion, I still think to this day that something was not right with Georgia. Like, they didn't play their 100% in the SEC championship. I would call it laying down, but maybe it was more of unmotivated or whatever. Mayhem Matthew, bottom of the barrel trash talk. You are smoking something good. I'll take third best defense instead of first best. Ladies and gentlemen, drug talk. That is what I call the bottom of the barrel trash talk. Anyways, let's keep going on the schedule. So I have them beating Georgia State, losing on the road to Arkansas, and beating Georgia at home. It will be considered an upset, but not to me. So that's 2-1. Then they get Group of 5, Charlotte at home. That's a win. Then they get FCS South Carolina State at home. That's a win. Now we're looking at 3-1. Then a road trip to Kentucky. That's a winnable game for South Carolina because I don't think Kentucky is going to be as good as what they were last year. But I'm going to give that one to Kentucky. So right now we're looking at 4-2. Then they get Texas A&M at home. And yes, I realize that Texas A&M has never lost to South Carolina. But records and rules are made to be broken. And I think that record and rule is broken this year. Jimbo Fisher is a very inconsistent coach, especially on the road. Perfect storm. South Carolina wins. So we're looking at 5-2. Then they get Missouri at home. They might blow Missouri out, to be honest with you. And I know Eddie Rose, you're in the chat. I'm not saying Missouri is going to be bad. I just think it's on the road and South Carolina's a better team. Could be a blowout. So we're looking at 6-2 now. At Vanderbilt, 7-2. Not even going to talk about it. At Florida. That's a 50-50 football game, but I think South Carolina will be the better team. So, you know what? I would say South Carolina takes that because, Billy Napier is a good coach, but that offense was left in shambles. So what does that leave me at? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. That's 8 right there. Home game against Tennessee, that's 9. On the road to Clemson, that's a loss. So there's my 9-3. Even if I flipped that Florida game over to South Carolina, that's still 8-4. So that's how I'm seeing South Carolina. I think their schedule is doable. Most of their tough opponents are at home, except for the road trip to Arkansas and the road trip to Kentucky, and I am giving that as a loss. Both of those as losses to South Carolina. But Georgia at home, that's a win. Texas A&M at home, that's a win. Tennessee at home, that's a win. So I'm confident with the 8 wins. But since since you went with the best case scenario in your head, because it looked like you were confident with 6-6, but you said at best 7. So my bet has to cover 8. So the tit for tat on that one is you got to give me the bowl game on that. So there it is, $50 bet. South Carolina has to win 8 games for me to win $50, but we are counting the bowl game as well. But if they fail to reach 8 games, then Mayhem Matthew has won $50 of gold and blue. Lucas Sharp in the house. I see you. I try to keep up with all the new names in the chat as well. Chat's rolling today, guys. Y'all rolling today, so it's kind of difficult. Let's see. Did I miss anybody? Oh yeah, D4 Sports. Hopefully his hamstring is doing much better. That was rough. Larry, who was that? Larry Martin, I think. Yeah, Larry Martin. There we go. Let's see. VicTube says, just because we won a national championship doesn't mean we are LSU. I didn't say you were LSU. I didn't have you going like 6-6 or 7-5. I'm saying like 9-3. Still, 10-2 still doable too. I would say a 10-win season, yeah. But I think the SEC East is going to be a much tighter race this year. I don't think Georgia's going to be as elite as what they were last year, and it's all because of the defense. And it'll be interesting to see if that offense can still score 39 points a game once there's actual pressure for them to score, that many points a game. Because last year they didn't have any pressure. They didn't have to think about it. They didn't have to worry about it. They knew if they scored, 21, 22 points, they were going to win the football game because of that defense. So let's see how that offense does this year once they know that they actually have to score points. And that's what I'm trying to explain. I don't think they're going to be a bad team. I just think because of the defense, they're going to take a step back, and the record's going to be a little bit worse than what it was last year. But Georgia will be back, guys. Don't worry. It's just because you go a year without winning a national championship because you won one after 40 years doesn't mean the world's going to end. You recruit at a high level, things will come together again, and it's not going to take 40 years. Probably in 2 or 3 years, Georgia will be playing for another national championship, and all will be fine, all will be normal. So don't let it get you down, because if you start setting your standards on Alabama standards, you're setting yourself up for a rough life, because there's only one Alabama. I'm sorry, there is only one Alabama, so there can only be one set of Alabama standards, and that's Alabama having Alabama standards. The DGD podcast, I see you. If y'all are a Georgia fan, go check out his podcast. Some good stuff. He has some interesting takes and some interesting guests on over there. Did my chat freeze up? Hold on, guys. It did there for a second. Stupid. Man, I hate this laptop. All right, there we go. Larry Martin says, so Kentucky's going to be on Georgia's heel this year. I think Kentucky, South Carolina, and Tennessee, all three of those are going to be on Georgia's heel. I think this is going to be a much closer SEC race this year. And the bad news is whoever comes out of it this year is going to get destroyed by Alabama in the SEC championship. So even if Georgia does win the SEC East, Alabama is going to be the cream of the crop. And if you haven't watched the video that I put out today, in the video I said that don't forget Alabama is also on Jordan Addison's radar. If Jordan Addison goes to Alabama, my gosh, why even show up to play Alabama? It's going to be basically like the regular season against Georgia last year. There was really no point to anybody showing up because they got blasted by 20 points because they couldn't score 20 points. That's how it's going to be next year. Alabama's defense is going to be the best in the nation, and it's not going to be close. And then the offense, it's going to be the best in the nation, and it's not going to be close. So we can see on a regular basis. Hold on. Let me look this up real quick. Hold on, guys. Give me a sec. All right, so last year for Georgia, we got used to scores after the Clemson game. That was a close game, but after the Clemson game, we had to get used to final scores like this against Georgia: 56-7, 40-13, 62-0, 37-0, 34-10, 30-13, 34-7, 43-6. Oh, this was a close one. 41-17. That was a nail biter. 56-7, 45-0. There was no point in showing up against Georgia last year because of that defense. LBC Trojan, I see you in the chat. Anybody else new? The point is, this year it's going to be Alabama. There's not going to be a point in showing up against Alabama. And as lopsided as these scores are, 56-7, 41-17, it could be worse against Alabama because they're going to have that great defense to where people won't be able to score 2 touchdowns. You'll be lucky if you get to 10, but then the offense is going to be so much better than what Georgia had last year. Alabama doesn't play Ohio State in the regular season. So I'm trying to figure that one out, Hummus here. I mean, if Alabama and Ohio State get a national championship, that could be a close game. I'm saying regular season, SEC championship, probably first round of the playoffs. Alabama, there's no point in showing up against them. You're going to get blown out. There's going to be a lot of moral victories against Alabama in 2022. Last year, there was a lot of moral victories against Georgia. This year, it's Alabama. Neo says SEC East, 1 Georgia, 2 Tennessee, Kentucky, number 3. I actually disagree with that. I would say number 1. I would still go with Georgia. I just don't see anybody winning more games than Georgia. But number 2, I would probably have South Carolina, and then number 3, Tennessee, and then Kentucky with that slight step backwards to number 4. And I tried to explain it in the video. I don't think Kentucky is going to be not as good as what they were last year. I just think Tennessee and South Carolina are going to be that much better. Big Vol Daddy in the chat. This is a long name. The two creators for 2/3, the long lost star, and three and a third. Hold on, let me say that again. The two creators, 4 and 2/3, the long lost star, and 3 and a third. Wow, that's a long one. But I did shout you out, so there you go. Bottom line is, I think Alabama's going to have one of those teams that we're going to remember for a very long time. Kind of like the 2019 LSU team. That's what I think we're headed for the 2022 season. Big Ball Daddy says Tennessee will be a legit challenge for the East. I agree with that 100%. I think those top three teams, Georgia, South Carolina, Tennessee, it's going to be a fight. And then you have Kentucky. You cannot count out Kentucky. Let's look at Kentucky's record real quick. I think that was one of the reasons why I had Kentucky falling just a bit. Not because they're going to be not as good as what they were last year, but teams are going to be better, and I think their schedule set up a little more difficult. All right, so they get UL Monroe at home. That's a win. Missouri at home. That's a win. This is Kentucky, by the way, guys. Chattanooga at home. That's a win. At South Carolina, that's a loss. So there's one loss. Florida at home. That's a win. LSU at home. That's a win. At Georgia, that's a loss. At Tennessee, that's a loss. Tennessee at home. I'm going to say that's a loss. Then at Vanderbilt, win. New Mexico State, win. At Louisville, win. So 8-4. And it's because of the schedule and because the teams. Wait a minute. Hold on, guys. I looked at the wrong. I just now noticed that. Let's rewind. If you're a Kentucky fan in the chat, you probably knew I was saying the wrong schedule. Let's try this again. Okay, so here we go. Miami at home. That's a win. Let me double check and make sure, because I don't want that to happen again. All right. Miami of Ohio at home. That's a win. At Florida, that's a win. Youngstown State, that's a win. Northern Illinois, that's a win. So they do start off the season 4-0, in my opinion. But then a road trip to Ole Miss, that's a loss, okay? They get South Carolina and Mississippi State at home, both wins. At Tennessee, that's a loss. Maybe I do have them at 9-3. Vanderbilt, win. Georgia, loss. But the reason I have them in third is the tiebreaker over Tennessee, and I think South Carolina's going to have a 10-win season. All right. So that's why I explained to Kentucky fans. Hold on, I have a new one in the chat. Eva Diaz Gonzalez. But if you're spammer, you will get timed out. All right. So don't try that spamming inappropriate crap. We will knock you out. Okay. When I say knock you out, I mean out of the chat. And if you don't, that's fine. No problem. I just see a lot of those in here where people try to get those inappropriate Spanish sites on the channel. But anybody speaking English, if y'all try to do it too, we'll boot you out. Fair warning. So the reason I have Kentucky in fourth place at 9-3, think about that. I have Kentucky in third place at 9-3. Why? Because I think South Carolina has a legitimate shot at having 10 wins, even though I have Kentucky beating South Carolina. All right. And then I have Tennessee having the head-to-head win over Kentucky. So they would have third spot. Georgia. But, if Georgia has 10 wins, if Georgia has any more than one loss and South Carolina beats them and they have a 10-win season, then South Carolina wins the East. So this is going to be super interesting, guys. Why am I so high on South Carolina this year? Because I saw what Shane Beamer did with a bare cupboard after Will Muschamp left them in shambles last year. South Carolina finished number 7 in the transfer portal, including getting Spencer Rattler and Stogner, the tight end from Oklahoma, and some more 4-stars. I can't remember the names off the top of my head, but I think it's like 4 or 5 4-stars in the transfer portal. Top 25 recruiting class, a much favorable schedule. But that's why I'm high on South Carolina. I think they're going to have a tremendous year this year, to be honest with you. 9-3, 10-2 is what I'm thinking. Yeah, you do have to watch out for Ole Miss if you're Alabama, but I just think that Alabama is going to be so good that it's not going to be an issue. I just had this feeling, as good as Ole Miss is going to be in 2022, that it might not matter because of how good Alabama will be. I mean, I hope it's a good game. I actually hope that Ole Miss upsets them. I just see the pieces coming together for Alabama having an epic, historical, record-breaking year. I don't know. Big Valdaddy says, don't sleep on Florida. I don't think I'm sleeping on them. I'm predicting Florida to go 7-5, which in most divisions would be good enough for a third spot. But in the SEC East in this particular year, it's going to stick them in fifth place. So I don't think Florida's going to be bad. I just think those three teams above them, South Carolina, Tennessee, and Kentucky, are going to be better. So it's just, I don't know. It's just how the SEC East stacks up in my eyes this year. I don't know. I don't know how to explain it. It's not that one team falls off a cliff and one team gets way better. It's just going to be so tightly bunched, and Georgia is not going to be as elite as what they were last year. I have them having possibly 2 losses. It's going to be one of the more entertaining divisions in all of college football, to be honest with you. But I think the SEC West is going to be far and away the better division and will continue the streak of beating the SEC East in the SEC Championship. See, that's another thing that got me. Georgia had the opportunity of ending that streak of the SEC East, the SEC West winning the SEC Championship, and they just didn't show up for that game. And my personal opinion, most people don't agree with me on this opinion, but this is my opinion. My personal opinion. I think Georgia laid down for Alabama to help Alabama get into the playoffs. I think they had the mindset of they knew they could beat Alabama, and then they proved it in the national championship. What was it, 33-18? Everything I predicted about that happened. Georgia to win by double digits, and Alabama not to reach 20 points, and Georgia sacking Bryce Young multiple times. The biggest red flags for that SEC championship for me was that dominant Georgia defensive line could not get any penetration whatsoever on an Alabama offensive line that struggled all year. Answer me this. Who had the better defensive line, Auburn or Georgia? The answer is Georgia. If you said Auburn, you don't know college football. Auburn got to Bryce Young several times, and Georgia did not lay a finger on him in the SEC championship. So something was wrong with Georgia in the SEC championship. And that's why I have my opinion. There's too many things that don't make sense about that SEC championship to just say, Alabama was the better team that day. It doesn't make sense. If it would have been a close game, if Georgia would have gotten some sacks on Bryce Young, but somehow he pulled through and had some heroic moments, I would have believed it. But not getting a sack, getting absolutely obliterated, and that Alabama offensive line all of a sudden looking elite against an actual elite defensive line, it didn't make sense. All the pieces did not fit together on that one. So that's why I formed that opinion. Most people don't like that opinion, don't agree with that opinion, think it's a conspiracy theory, think that I'm loony. That's fine. Think it. That's fine. But I'm not changing my mind. Let's see. I do see some new names. Michael Owen and K-Dog. What's going on, guys? Welcome to the chat. For those of you that weren't here earlier for the big news, by the way, we are going to take one day in the summer, a weekday, probably either a Thursday or a Friday, end of June, early July. Haven't settled on an actual date yet. But what we're going to do is we're going to have an 8-hour live stream. 6 of those 8 hours, we're going to have guests on. We're going to average probably like 3 guests per hour, 15, 20 minutes apiece. Big guests representing, Ohio State, not just a bunch of West Virginia guys. Ohio State, Oklahoma, all over the nation. Hey, if you're a USC fan, hold on a second, guys. let me do this real quick. Give me 1 second. Hold on. Let me go to the live show. So if you're, and I see the reason I say this is I see a USC fan in the chat. So what I want you to do, USC fan, is if you know a USC personality, there's my email. Email me their information, and I will try to get them on as a guest for that live show. Because I want this to be a coast to coast live show. Any Oregon fans in the chat, same thing. Refsuck at gmail.com. Just the name of their channel or who they are, something, because I want this to be coast to coast. So whether it's a Oregon personality for Oregon University or a USC personality, doesn't matter. Let's get it done. So if you want your team to be represented on that 8-hour live show, hit me up, refsuck at gmail.com. All you have to do is tell me who they are or what channel they are, or if they have an email, give me their email. Whatever the case may be, it would be awesome. AB, I see you. That was weird. AB, I see you. That sounds like I just said 5 letters. I was saying I see you. Lucas Sharp, P Digits. Thanks for stopping by. All right, guys, I'm about to get off here. I have some other stuff I got to do. I had a long day. I had 2 videos. I had some things I had to do around the house. And, of course, the live show. Mayhem says, I would love to be a guest on your show and debate your crap of a prediction. You know what's funny, Mayhem Matthew? Florida fans said that I had a crap of a prediction last year whenever I predicted Kentucky to finish second in the SEC East. Here's why. In 2020, Florida finished second in the SEC East, or was it first? They may have won it. They had a good year, was the point. And Kentucky went 5-6. Florida fans asking the same exact questions as you did. Why are you so high on Kentucky this year? Because of what Mark Stoops did in the offseason. And that's the same reason why I'm high on South Carolina. Shane Beamer is knocking it out of the ballpark in Columbia, South Carolina. I see a new name, Robin. Can we get a Coach Coop? We actually are going to get a Coach Coop, and that might be a perfect opportunity. I didn't even think about that. I've already talked to Coach Coop. We were actually already going to do a live show. Maybe he would do it for that. That's good thinking, Coach Coop. I've been watching him for a while. I actually got to meet him at the Slobs. Great guy. So me and him were already going to line up a live show. I think that would be the perfect way to bring him on. H. Barfarkle. That's tough. And then Tanner Rogers. 2 new names. I had to shout you out. Anyways, good suggestions, guys. We'll try to get Coach Coop on for the live show in the summer. But like I said, for my USC guys and my Oregon guys, I need suggestions because I'm not aware of any USC or Oregon personalities that represent the university. So please give me some ideas because I want that show to be a coast-to-coast show. All right, guys? Anyways, this is a great show, guys. I appreciate everybody that stopped by, supported the channel, hit the like button, grew the video. We got a lot of views in here. Shane Stadmiller, Sorgy Stories. I see y'all stopping by. Trying to make sure I shout out everybody before I get out of here. But this was a big show. I had a good time. But don't forget about the big show in the summer. I haven't nailed down the date, but it's going to be a good one. A good one. I agree with Tanner Rogers, too. He says, I think WU will go either 10-2 or 11-1. I don't know about 11-1. And Pitt could go 9-3 or 8-4. I agree with that as well, especially if they lose Jordan Addison. I would say West Virginia at the most goes 10-2, maybe 9-3 is where I'm leaning towards. Appreciate that, Mayhem Matthew. I thought it was a pretty good show too. Anyways, I'm getting out of here, guys. Y'all have a good rest of the week until the next live show, which will be on Friday at the same time. All right, guys. Y'all take care, and I'll see you then.